Mutual Pharmaceutical Company Incorporated versus Bartlett, a case study on preemption and generic drug liability by Dennis Parr. Copyright 2024, Dennis Parr. Today, we delve into the Supreme Court case of Mutual Pharmaceutical Company Incorporated versus Bartlett, a pivotal legal battle that sheds light on the complex interplay between generic drug safety and consumer rights. This case is not just a legal dispute, but a narrative that reveals the intricate balance of regulations, responsibilities, and rights within our healthcare system. Our journey through this case study will unravel the legal arguments, dissect the court's rationale, and explore its far-reaching implications on the landscape of generic drugs and consumer safety. As we navigate through this analysis, our objective is clear: to grasp the immediate and long-term legal ramifications of this landmark decision, and to understand why it matters to each one of us as consumers, as legal professionals, and as members of a society that values health and justice. In setting the stage for our discussion, let's explore the background of the case. The regulation of generic drugs governed by the Food and Drug Administration under the Federal Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act is designed to ensure their safety, efficacy, and equivalence to brand name drugs. The case centers around Karen Bartlett, who suffered severe side effects from a generic drug, leading to a legal battle that climbed the judicial ladder all the way to the Supreme Court. This background is crucial as it highlights the regulatory framework and the personal stakes involved, laying the groundwork for the legal issues that would challenge the balance between federal mandates and state-level consumer protections. At the heart of this case are the legal issues of preemption and liability. The doctrine of preemption, rooted in the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution, asserts that federal law overrides conflicting state laws. The critical question here is whether state law design defect claims against generic drug manufacturers are preempted by federal drug regulations. This legal conundrum forces us to confront the tensions between federal regulatory objectives, which prioritize drug safety and efficacy, and the role of state tort laws in providing remedies for individuals harmed by pharmaceutical products. The resolution of these issues would have profound implications for the legal landscape of generic drug manufacturing and consumer rights. The Supreme Court's decision in this case is a cornerstone of our discussion. The majority opinion, led by Justice Alito, invokes the doctrine of impossibility preemption, stating that generic drug manufacturers cannot comply with both federal and state laws simultaneously. Thus, federal law prevails. This ruling underscores the primacy of federal regulation in ensuring drug safety while limiting the liability of generic manufacturers. However, the dissenting opinions raise poignant concerns about consumer rights and safety. This decision not only delineates the legal boundaries for generic drug manufacturers, but also sets a precedent that shapes the future of pharmaceutical regulations and consumer protections. The implications of the Supreme Court's decision are far-reaching and multifaceted. For consumers, the ruling narrows the avenues for legal recourse in cases of injury from generic drugs, creating a disparity in protection compared to brand-name drug users. For generic drug manufacturers, the decision provides a shield against state law design defect claims, potentially impacting their approach to safety monitoring and innovation. Moreover, this case highlights the delicate balance between federal regulation and state tort law, raising questions about the effectiveness of federal oversight versus state-level consumer protections. These implications reverberate through the healthcare system, influencing policy debates and legal strategies in the pharmaceutical industry. In response to the challenges posed by the Supreme Court ruling, various policy recommendations and legislative responses have emerged. The FDA's proposed rule change aims to enhance patient safety by allowing generic drug manufacturers to update their labels with new safety information. On the legislative front, the Patient Safety and Generic Labeling Improvement Act represents an effort to amend the FDCA granting consumers the ability to bring state law tort claims for failures to warn about risks. These initiatives reflect the ongoing struggle to find a balanced solution that protects consumers while fostering the availability of affordable generic medications. As we consider these responses, we must evaluate their potential to address the gaps in consumer protection highlighted by this case. In conclusion, the Mutual Pharmaceutical Company Incorporated versus Bartlett case serves as a critical juncture in the legal and regulatory framework governing the pharmaceutical industry. It highlights the complex interplay between federal preemption, drug regulation, and consumer protection. As we reflect on this case, we are confronted with the pressing need to balance the accessibility of affordable medication with the imperative of ensuring consumer safety and legal recourse. The ruling not only sheds light on the extent to which federal law can preempt state laws intended to protect consumers, but also prompts us to reevaluate the roles and responsibilities of regulatory bodies, the legal system, and the pharmaceutical industry in safeguarding public health while promoting innovation and competition. As we move forward, the lessons learned from this case will continue to inform public policy and shape the landscape of healthcare, highlighting the ongoing challenges in navigating the legal and regulatory environments that impact our lives. Up next, we'll display the slides listing all the references that have informed our study, providing you with the sources for further exploration and insight. Thank you for your time and attention.